Welcome back to Emergency Dating Consulting, a place for immediate change and or development in the world of dating. As always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to send me in your questions so I can answer them on the show. Let's go! I have a man who's stuck like Chuck when it comes to dating, and he has no idea where to start, and I feel like a lot of you can relate out there. He titles it as "Dating is Sucking the Life Out of Me." Here are his details. I'm 27, been single for nearly 2 years. I've been dating on and off since, using the dating apps mostly. I'm not a model, but I'm a pretty decent looking guy, ripped bod, good job, and I feel like I'm never going to meet anyone. Had a date the other day, and it seemed to go really well. She even texted afterwards, and we spoke for a day and asked if she wanted to hang out again. Date, time, activity, and got no reply. I don't know if something is wrong, but I feel like the whole text game and Tinder game is actually sucking the life out of me. It's like defusing a bomb. One wrong wire message and it's fucked. I don't know what I did wrong with this recent one, but my God, dating seems to be unbelievably hard and frustrating in this stupid date and age we live in. I get it. It's hurting my feelings and ruining my confidence. I feel like I've always been good with women, and now I feel like I'm awful. I've actively read up on tips and tricks. I read a few books and feel useless at the whole thing. So this is a typical situation for a young man, especially as he's leaving his prime. And this is why EDC was born. This is an emergency situation for his life and for his future. So I'm more than anything, I'm glad he's reaching out. It's really unfortunate, as he said, he read a few books, tips and tricks, and he feels useless about the whole thing. And this is why I would be careful about these tips and tricks and how to, like these one-liners or anything that seems inauthentic. And this is why this man still feels useless looking up these tips and tricks, because really you feel like you're conning somebody, and the moral behind it can be genuine, but the actions towards it make you feel inauthentic. And really, especially if you're a cerebral person, which he is, you don't want to have that feeling like I kind of tricked you of coming here, right? And it can be fun. That's it entirely. It depends on your situation and on your environment. But when you're looking for a relationship, you do want this to be authentic as possible. You do want to tell your kids about how you met one day. And this is the downfall, one of the downfalls I'll just slide into when it comes to these dating apps. What are you going to tell your children, right? We've all been in a situation where we're young and talking to our parents, or if when you're a single parent, you ask like, how'd you meet dad? How'd you meet mom? And you're not going to give it too much merit, right? We met on eHarmony. It was a tough, lonely day. Like, where do you even start with that? Where was the challenge? Where was the risk? Right? So, and imagine if y'all have parents who have exciting stories about how they met, you see them go back in time and you see them relive a situation, especially if they're both there telling the story. You see fireworks re-sparking. It's an exciting atmosphere, and unfortunately you don't get this when you meet online. And this is why it's also very important to go get your partner in real life. So like he said, he's been single for nearly 2 years, right? I'm really curious of how long his relationships has been. And this is very fascinating for a 27-year-old to be single for 2 years and he feels like he's lost hope. Now, this definitely lets me know his last relationship, the breakup, was rough. And I'm assuming he had big plans in his head for the future with his ex. And when that comes crumbling down, that's a tough position, especially at 27. This is one of those confusing years where you're not sure, where you're stuck with the programming of like you should be on your way to marriage, you should be on your way to kids and this type of success. And that's when you get stuck with the perception of others and, oh shit, what am I gonna do? You're losing your prime. This is a very transformative age on where he's at. And that's why I say it's an emergency. That's the wrong time to start losing hope. To dive into, and really what's triggering, this was like the last straw in the camel's back for him. He was talking to a woman on Tinder, I'm assuming, that he was really interested in. And just like he said, it seemed to really go well. She even texted him afterwards, and we spoke for a day, and I asked if she wanted to hang out again. Date, time, activity. Don't really know what he means by that. I'm assuming he gave her the date, when, and where, and got no reply. I don't know if something's wrong, but I feel like the whole text game and Tinder game is sucking the life out of me. And you're right. Especially whether it comes to breakups or dating, anything in sex, love, and relationships, when you cannot get an answer or somebody ghosts you or anything in those confusing realms, it's devastating, right? Especially if you try to ask somebody or no one really knows, so they're gonna give you some bullshit answer or to try to make you feel better, and that's a tough situation to be in. And I feel like this is online dating in its entirety, and everyone has their sword and shield on. But I do want to highlight, my brain goes faster than I can speak and keep up with it, but I do want to dive into the intricacies when it comes to this exact situation. So this was the last straw that broke the camel's back when it came to him trying. He thought he had something, and she ghosted him. So I really like, after he said it's sucking the life out of him, it's like defusing a bomb. I love that. One wrong wire, which is a message, and it's fucked. And he's 100% right. And imagine that, right? It essentially, and this is what's so interesting, and this highlights a flaw of online dating, right? When it comes to in person, it's funny how you can make multiple flaws while approaching somebody and getting their phone number. But when it comes to online dating, one strike, you're out, right? That is harsh. And think about it, it should be the other way around. You would think one strike, you're out in person, and multiple strikes online, because give the person the benefit of the doubt. I mean, we're online, you don't really know me, so why judge so hard? And it's not the case. And this goes to show women, really all of us, but women, because y'all control the narrative to this for the most part, women brought their dating rules to online dating. And it's like, imagine that. Imagine on your profile, you're getting match, and you're just swiping. Boom. This is your routine. Do I not? He's on. Can you imagine having that? That's like me just chilling here and having somebody bring me grapes on a vine and bring me my. Nah, I'm not really. That looks good. What is that? Yeah, nah, I'll pass. It looked good, but it wasn't what I thought, right? That type of pickiness and that type of power can leave you choosing, constantly flipping through, never finding the right selection, but at the same time, fuzzy on really what's important. You lost the whole goal of why food is being brought to you. You see what I'm saying? So, and what's wild is not only did they bring the rules to the online dating, they've abandoned what they're used to in the real world. And the proof of this is, the amount of mistakes you can make while talking to a woman, right? The reason why she will give you the benefit of the doubt in person is because she put your character together, right? If you said something flawed but funny, if you tripped or spilled something, something slightly embarrassing, she watches how you recover, she watches how you handle it, but she already put your character together before any of your mistakes happen, and she knows who you are. And then immediately you become a human being to her, especially when you make a mistake. That's why it's kind of a perk to make a mistake, so you don't match this perfect persona. It's a fascinating thing. This is why we love when our girlfriends do something silly, because it's like, of course, like, it's just a human being situation. But when it comes to online dating, right, he's right. It's like defusing a bomb, and you have to be very careful about that. But more than anything, imagine a situation where there's one strike, you're gone, and all you have is a profile picture. And texting is completely different, right? It lacks emotion and it breeds miscommunication. So that's not an atmosphere that you want to be facing, where you only have one strike and you're out, right? As mostly for what I always say to online dating, if you're going to stick it out there, apparently if you don't have this texting game, which I agree with this guy, it's like building a bomb. Get out of there. You shouldn't be texting anyways, honestly. But online dating is built for what you see on paper, right? Height, weight, success, bam. So it's, as he said, I don't know what I did wrong with this recent one, but my God, dating seems to be unbelievably hard and frustrating. So what's interesting, just to clarify the bomb analogy for the messaging, that's really not what fucked him. See, when you are down to zero, as I've always said, zero partners, zero companions, 0, 0, 0, it becomes a black hole, right? No light can escape out of that. So here's a situation where this man is desperately trying to shine a beacon to the world or to the populace and have somebody come through. Now, he's starting to get a little bit of play here, but it's very fascinating. Women can tell, all right? Women can tell if you're down to zero. You just give off this certain vibe and certain energy. I honestly, I can't really put it into words, but it happens every time. You just give off this really kind of a bland energy, right? Every man that women have encountered, especially dated, they put their life together, and usually the men with high energy, high drive, and really just determined are getting laid, right? They usually have their sex life, for the most part, if it's not in order, it's definitely active. And so they can match the qualities that you have while you have that active sex life. This man is giving off that energy. Now, the question must be, how could you be possibly giving off black hole energy on online dating? And as he said, the conversation spoke well, and this is where it always gets iffy for men and women, right? The greetings and salutations are on point. You guys come together. But then when it comes to kicking it, this is where it gets scary, because he said she wanted to hang out again. Right, had the date. So I got that confused. So he already had the date the other day, and it seemed to go really well. She even texted afterwards, and we spoke for a day, and I asked if she wanted to hang out again. So I'm going to need to recalibrate this, but instinctively, the fact that she texted him afterwards, that's why he mentioned it, that is a good sign. And we spoke for a day, and I asked, that's where it went wrong. That's where it went wrong. He spoke for a day. So they went on the first date, right? Everything went well, good. She even texted him afterwards. Now, a woman texting you afterwards is letting you know exactly how you feel and exactly how she feels. Everything went well. But here's the problem. This is where he hit the issue. They spoke for a whole day.